So we're going to start by looking at the shape of the channel at site 1. And the first thing we're going to do is look at the width. I've got a tape measure here. There's a benefit of the tape measure, it keeps nice and straight. When I measure the width of the river, ideally I'd have a second person with me here to help me do it as accurately as possible. I'm going to start by measuring from the right hand, as if I'm heading downstream, the right hand side of the channel. And I'm going to measure the width across the surface of the water to the left hand side. So down here, as you can see, I measure on the surface all the way across, and it's 170 centimetres. Now, so that's the width. I may want to measure a couple of times and then get an average, to improve my accuracy. Then I want to think about the depth. Now, with the depth, I'm going to divide my width into half and then into quarters. So I'm going to measure the depth at a quarter way across, halfway across, 3/4 of the way across. So 170 divided by 2 is 85. So at 85 centimetres, which is here, this is the middle of the river. I'm going to use a 30 centimetre ruler to measure the depth at this point, and I'm going to place it straight down into the river. So it's just touching the top of the bed. I don't want to sink it in because that would give it an inaccurate reading. And then I'm going to measure the depth, and it's 9 centimetres. Now, I've got to be careful that I place the ruler at this angle. If I switch it like that, you can see straight away the river pushes the ruler out of the way, and actually the water rises up and we're given an inaccurate reading. I also need to be careful at the bottom of my ruler. There's 2 or 3 millimetres before the actual measurement starts. So I might want to take off that gap from my reading as well. I then do the same at a quarter of the way across and 3/4 of the way across. And that would give me the depth and how the depth might change across the width of the channel and the width. Finally, I'm going to measure the wetted perimeter. The wetted perimeter is the perimeter of the river channel that comes in contact with water. Now, because the river is flowing, if I were to place a tape measure in here, it might sweep my tape measure away. So I want something heavy, and I've got a chain here. It also means that I can accommodate for the uneven surface along the river bed. So again, starting on the right hand side of the channel, I'm going to start at the top of the river channel and very carefully place the chain along the river bed, carefully trying not to knock any of the bed loads. And the chain keeps in place, and I get all the way across to the river's edge. I mark it, and then I'll go away and measure that, and that would give me the wetted perimeter. So, putting all those together, that gives me the shape of the river channel.